Well, there's just a thing that happens when you're connected with someone. If you're connected financially, if you're connected in a friendship way, that's why cronyism works.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
They weasel their way in. And look, I can give you examples of it in my own life.
Yeah.
Like if anybody ever comes to me with any kind of criticism of Dana White, and I'm like, you're going to the wrong guy. Like, that guy's my brother. I'll never say a bad thing about him. If I didn't know him, if he was some asshole that lived in some other country, I would probably talk shit about him like I talk shit about everything. But I love that guy to death, and I'll never say a bad word about him. So it's like, if you're coming to me for objective journalism about one of my friends, you got the wrong person.
Yeah, but you're open about it, right?
Yeah.
And
That's the most important
key,
part.
You
which
got
is
the wrong person. I won't say I won't lie, but I won't ever say anything negative about my friends. It's just like, I don't think that's necessary. And that's something that happens when you get a shit ton of money involved and you get relationships and you're drinking scotch together at a private club and you're discussing the advertising revenue, and we'd like to donate a bunch of money to CNN. We'd like to figure out a way that we can work together. Hey, I'm a fucking captain billionaire and I want to donate all this money to all these people that own media organizations, and I would, I'd like to be your friend.
That's it.
That's
It's fun.
Be your friend.
It's cool, right? Who doesn't want to go to fun
resist.
parties?
It's just friends. We're friends.
Yeah, it's all part of a system. And
We go
that's where
fishing.
This is the other thing, actually, I was hoping to bring up is I don't think people understand that cable is a fake business model. So, for example, we talk a lot about the failing ratings. The key demo numbers on all three of these channels is a joke. I always like to say, like, Krystal and I would be starving in a ditch if we were getting the same numbers as these people. So how do they survive? It's because they're part of something called the cable bundle. And so, like, when you buy cable, like Cox Communications or whatever, they pay, or Comcast, for example, they pay CNN and MSNBC and Fox to be a part of the bundle. The vast majority of the profit of these cable channels comes from the bundle. So CNN made $1 billion in profit just last year, all propped up by the bundle, because they're getting paid just to exist. I mean, can you imagine if we were getting paid to exist, not based upon our actual numbers? Like, you can actually reach less people and make more money. And so it's all part of this fake system. But I mean, the benefit is that with the rise of independent media, more and more advertisers are waking up. The less eyeballs, the less of an incentive for the bundle to actually pay them to be a part of it. And that's why I was actually really excited by Amazon striking that deal with the NFL, because I'm like, yes, get the rights away from these people, because that is what props up all kinds of bullshit that we don't have, like a small d democratic input with our eyeballs on CNN or any of these places. They can exist just fine without us. Like, to really kill them, we have to get away from live news on TV. That's the number one thing still propping them up today.
Yeah. It's kind of a zombie business model. But I will tell you, I mean, I have a lot of optimism, certainly about what we're doing, about the response to what we're doing, about the independent media ecosystem. But you and I were talking the other day, Joe, about, I do think it's a dangerous moment for people. And one thing we've been covering a lot on the show is you have a kind of breakdown in previous national stories and narratives. And people are very, like, story driven. You have a breakdown in, I'm not a religious person, so this is, like, not my bag, but you have a breakdown in religion. So some of the stories that have kind of, like, held the country together and that people helped use to make sense of their life, or even the story about the American dream. A lot of these things are kind of breaking down. Now, that's a good thing because it creates a possibility for a new, more beneficial story. But in the meantime, it is just a, like, heyday for con artists and charlatans and, people who are willing to sell a narrative to, a lot of folks who feel kind of lost, kind of adrift, and don't like existing in that chaos. So it's like, whether they're being scammed by, like, SBF or this, like, Congressman George Santos who, like, made up every aspect of his life.
That guy's amazing.
Krystal's obsessed with him. I just find him a disgrace.
Do you see pictures of him where he's a drag queen in Brazil?
Katara.
Yeah, Katara.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think
drag-ish.
Now you can't criticize him anymore. He's trans.
So the part I'm obsessed with him is, first of all, I just can't imagine being that person who can, like,
oh yeah,
And whoever he was across from, he was going to tell them what they wanted to hear. When the dude was like, I'm into volleyball, he's like, I was a star volleyball player at a college he didn't even go to.
I have a very good friend who texted me today, and he told me, I'm here with this guy who knew you from Boston and this and that and that and this. And I say, what's his name? He tells me the name. I go, that guy's full of shit. I don't know that guy. And so then he tells me that he took a picture with this guy, and the guy pretended that he was texting it to me.
Whoa.
These are real people.
See that, and that's what,
There's real people that are just crazy.
And that's the thing that is, I'm like, how many of these people are out there? Number one. And number two, I just feel like his ability to rise and make it to Congress says so much about like the cracks and the holes.
FTX execs maxed out on donations.
I didn't even know that. That's
good.
That
Good find,
Jamie.
Of course they did. Look at them.
Right there is like the perfect news story for our era.
Look at that
this
American flag fucking pin on the lapel. I love it.
This is America's congressman right here.
The question is, what's his name?
America's
Have you seen the
congressman.
video where he's like, hi, my name is Anthony DeValder?
Yeah,
and
he
you're
changes
like,
his
who
name.
the fuck are you?
He's
Like,
a
what's your
full-on
name?
con man.
Full on.
There are
con man.
so few people that want to be congressmen, and there's so few people that want to get involved that you could be a fucking loon. A fucking loon with all the right bullet points, and you can get all the way in.
Well, he told people what they wanted to hear.
Yes.
You know, to the donors, he was
Yes.
like, I'm a wealthy businessman. I'm highly successful. I worked at Goldman Sachs, all this stuff. They're like, oh, this is our kind of guy. To the electorate in the Republican, he pitched that he's like this trailblazing, you know, I am the American dream, like Latino, gay, all this stuff. I mean, it really was incredible the way that he told people what they wanted to hear. And so that's a part that I'm really interested and obsessed with, because all of these people are like a reflection of the holes and vulnerabilities in society. You know, same thing with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. He told people in Congress, he told the media, he had this very specific cultivated image of his like wacky hair and his like dressed down look and whatever, that he was the eccentric genius or whatever. And a lot of people who were supposed to be super smart in the business press and in the, you know, regular press and on Capitol Hill, they all bought it hook, line, and sinker.
After Bernie Madoff, you're not going to fool us again.
Oh, yeah, right.
We've got it all. We
got it
figured
now.
out. We got it.
It's not like Theranos was like 5 years ago.
The Theranos was an abnormality, sir. It'll never happen again. People like that are rare, and they don't really get through.
It's actually a good thing, though, just to show people, like, these people aren't that smart.